Hi everyone, we've got Roger Ringo on this video with us. Roger's going to show us how to do a Facebook ad. We're going to be using this for the Facebook free presentation that we're putting on in July 2019, but I believe it would be good for us to have this recording so we can refer back to it when we all want to do our own individual Facebook ads. Roger,
Great,
how are
Pamela.
you?
Great to be on the call, and we're in for a little fun adventure of how to do Facebook, technical stuff. So the first step is when anyone goes to their Facebook page, we want to start with Ad Manager. So when you see my cursor, it's going to be in that left column under the Explore section. If it doesn't show up under Explore, you may want to click the See More because it may be on farther down the list. So you want to left click on Ads Manager, and that starts that up. And now there are three main sections to Ad Manager. One is where you want to create a campaign. The campaign is the overview for a set of ads that may cover several different ads they'll be using. But first off, you have to create a campaign, which you see this tab up here. And secondly, we'll need to create an ad set. And then third will be the actual ad itself. And so when you start, you want to make sure this campaign tab is accented. This is what it looks like if ad set is highlighted, but make sure campaign. And then you go to the left side to the plus create. So we're going to create a campaign. And so now we see the title. So for this campaign, we'll just use the name for a free talk. We'll say, have we met, free talk, have we met before? So that's going to be the campaign name. Underneath the buying type, you pretty much, it's going to be auction. And the objective is, in our case, what we want to do is create traffic to the landing page of the website. But you can see there's a lot of different objectives if you're trying to do lead generation or have page likes or there's a lot of options there, and it kind of helps preset certain fields as you keep going further. But right now we're going to stay with traffic, and most of this you can just kind of leave in default mode where you want the campaign budget optimization. And then here is the campaign budget, and what I usually do is I just put in there a lifetime budget. And we're going to define later on how much we're actually going to spend on that particular ad, but this just kind of sets an upper limit so that you don't accidentally spend too much without realizing it. So I'll just put this lifetime budget at 900. Brings us down to create a new ad set. So the ad set name, we're going to make it have we met before? And then we want to create a new ad. And so we can just use the same title for simplicity. But where this comes into play is like if we do an ad, have we met before, we want to change it and try a different ad, then we would just create another ad underneath that and use a little different name. So now we have our ad name of Have We Met Before? And so we just click on the lower right to save to draft. And so now we're going to do more detailed setups. So here we have the campaign details. It's rechecking there. We want traffic. It's going to be an auction. There's our lifetime budget. And we want the lowest cost strategy. So now we want to finish this up, and we'll hit publish. And looks like we have some, we have to go up here on this top left. If you see here, here's our campaign, here's our ad set, and this is our ad. We want to click on this. Before publishing it, we have to finish creating our ad. So here again, now we're in the ad name. Have we met before? And you have to establish the Facebook page that's associated with this. And we're doing this through Pamela's email account. So you're going to see some of the items that she has here that's, her personal, that you wouldn't see on your own. But we want to do this as IPMI Australia. And then we want to for Instagram, we want to use the same name as the IPMI Australia. And we want to create an ad with an image or video. And as you see, some of this is just by default already filled in. And there's a lot of options you can do. What we're going to do today is just create a simple ad, nothing fancy, to just get the basic job done. So we want to, instead of a video or slideshow, we want to show an image. So I'm going to select an image, and just underneath here are some criteria for your images. And one is you want to have a highest resolution as possible, and there's two, aspect ratios, either a square or full screen, or which is like that rectangular. Well, this is a rectangular vertical, but we're going to, use, because of the image we have, we're going to use a horizontal. The new trend within Facebook ads is to use your larger square or vertical rectangle images, and that way it translates into Instagram better. So we want to select our image, and in this case, we want to upload an image because what we want to use is not there. And so we're going to go to, and this is an image that's on my hard drive. So we're going there. And so now here it shows that the image has uploaded and it's highlighted or checked because that's the image we want in there. We don't want to use one of these other images. For example, if I wanted to use a different image, I would just click on that. But this is what we want to use. I'll click continue. And so now we want to click down, and now we go to the text that we want to that's going to show above the image. And in this particular case, we have some info that Pamela sent me, and I'll type the text in, and you'll see where it shows on the right-hand side, which shows the updated ad. Okay, so you can see now how the ad is starting to look on the right-hand side of the screen. And this is in this ad preview area that you're seeing. An ad is going to show in different places. Right now, we're showing how the ad is going to look in the mobile news feed. And you can look at it in, we should be able to, there we go. Like here it is in the desktop news feed, how it's going to look. So anyway, we'll play around with this more a little later. Okay, the website URL, this is the link that we want people to go to when they click the Learn More. And this is going to be the IPMI.org website. And so just to make that a little simpler, rather than trying to type it all out, I'm just going to go to the website and copy the URL from the page. Okay, so if you left click up here at the top, it highlights it. I'm just going to do copy. And then in the box, I'm going to paste. And then the, as you can see, the ad is updating here. So the headline is this section right here. So is that what you'd like to use, for the headline, Pamela?
Yes, it is, Roger. Thank you.
Okay.
Perhaps take the dash out, Roger, if you don't mind.
What's that?
Perhaps take that dash out, yeah.
Like that? I forgot what was in there originally when it showed the...
That was it, but is there any way of getting the word free onto the second line?
Putting that on the second line?
Yeah. Maybe just do a couple of spaces.
Well, it's going to show up differently in different...
Oh, true.
Yeah, you kind of have to just take it as it. Now, this section here, the news feed link description, you can put like a sentence or two additional that goes in the desktop feed. There can be another little statement underneath your headline, or we can just leave it blank. You know, we kind of said what we want to say, so we can leave that there. Call to action, learn more, which is this right here. If we wanted something different, we could, you know, choose, but learn more kind of works the best. And then the tracking, it's good to, in your ad manager, you can create what's called a Facebook pixel, and this lets you kind of track people who come to your site so that you know where they're coming from, and you can do some other spatial retargeting events. So because of a previous ad, this is already in.
Can I just clarify, right, Roger? Sorry, can I just clarify, the Learn More button takes you back, yes, to the website which you set up further up in the body of this area.
That's correct. Yes, it's going to take it to the website. And just as good to kind of, here's where we put that website URL where the Learn More is going to. Here, just to make sure you don't have any typos, you know, or errors, you can actually test this out. So I'm going to do preview URL, make sure it's taking me to the right page. And sure enough, there we are. So we know our URL is correct. Now, I'm going to go up to the mobile, up to this preview area, the ad preview, and I'm going to scroll through here. Here's the desktop news feed. And as you can see, in all these, Facebook has changed. You used to see a lot of rectangular, horizontal rectangular ads, but it's kind of slowly getting over to this square or vertical style. And here's what's called instant articles, how it will look there. And then here's the desktop right column. You know, we're not doing any video. Well, it's kind of slow, but there's altogether a potential of 18 different areas where this ad can be displayed. And I want to make sure that's saved. One thing that didn't happen that we need to do, this where my cursor is now, this is for the ad set, and we need to do some setup in this particular area. So I'm going to click on that. And so now we're going to do where we want to target the ad, and we're also going to put in our specific dollar amounts for the budget and timing and different pieces like that. So here we have, it's just kind of reiterating, we want website traffic. And here's where we put in the budget and schedule. So when would you like for this ad to start and end, Pamela?
It needs to end just before the event, which is on the 27th of July. So I think what you suggest, 1 or 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, I would go 2 weeks prior, yes.
Yep.
So we click on the calendar here, and let's see, what were the dates again? The when?
27th is the event, yeah. So maybe if we started on the 13th.
Okay, we start at 13th, and you can just leave whatever the default time is.
Yeah. And
then we want it to end on
so the 27th at 11 o'clock, because the events are at 1.
Okay, so we'll say 11. As you see, you just put the cursor on there and type over it. So here's going to, It's going to end on July 27th at 11 a.m. And it's going to run that time.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. I'm looking, making sure, where do we put? Let's see where the, let's see, where did I? Okay, we're going to. Okay, so let's see. What is the most you want to spend in total over these 2 weeks?
Probably 500.
500. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, minimum. It said that was optional, but we'll just put 0 in there. Anyway, so there we go. So now we have a maximum of 5. We have the stop date. And now here, so now we have, you know, we've made the ad. We told Facebook where we want it to, or when to start and stop and how much to spend. And now under the audience, this is where we can target the audience to just focus in on certain geographical areas if that's what we want. Right now, as you see this audience with nothing really defined too well, we've got an audience of 17 million people. So we need to define that, you know, it's going to essentially go to all of Australia. So what we want to do is we want to add some, typically cities. So what cities do we want to focus on this, April? I mean, Pamela, I mean.
We have 5 areas that we're doing them in.
Okay.
We'll start firstly with Melbourne, CBD. Yep.
Okay, so we got Melbourne, Victoria. And
now
then
that may cover all of Melbourne. Is that correct?
Right. Well, here's the circle that shows. Right now, it'll send it out to a 25-mile radius. And so what I would recommend is just make it as wide as possible. You know,
yep.
Send it out to 50 miles. And
yep.
so that kind of shows you how far that's going to go.
Okay. Well, that covers the 2 areas in Melbourne. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Okay. So what's the other city?
Sydney, CBD. Yep, that's the one.
Okay. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slide that out to 50 miles.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Perth. Yep. And then, when you're ready, and Gold Coast. Gold Coast, Queensland, next one down. Yep. That's it.
Okay. So now you see, without going into any other criteria, just targeting those cities, you know, there's a potential reach of 12 million people. So we dropped from 17 million down to 12. So now we go down to the age. Generally, what I do for our programs, I generally go for adults, you know, at least 28 to 65, or really 35 to 65. You know, if you think about who are the people, where's the bulk of the people who come from? They're generally adults, middle age. But we can target whatever age group you want. What age group would you like there, Pamela?
My feeling is the 28 to 65.
Okay.
Actually, let's lessen that. Let's make it the 30-something to 65.
Say 32?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. So now, if you look over here, now we're down to 7,600,000. So we're starting to be a little more targeted. So we're set for men and women.
Yep.
You can define language if you want. And so now here's where we can really hone it in for people who have certain interests. In this case, we want to send the ad to people who are already interested in some type of spirituality. Rather than people who are just interested in, weight loss or vacationings or, so now we target it in. And one area to kind of start is, you might say, psychic. People are interested in psychic. And what some other, like reincarnation. Let's put that in. You can have several topics. Because that is one of the topics, in the title. Now, if you notice, when it was just psychic, I think this potential reach was about 450,000. So now adding reincarnation, added about another 60,000 people who have, in their own profile, defined themselves as interested in that kind of a topic. Let's type in spirit guides. Here's some other, when I click suggestions, it gives me some standard, we have to use Facebook's standard categories, if you will, targeting. So one thing that's always good is meditation, clairvoyance, mindfulness. We can really hone in there, well-being. So if you see now we're, back up to 2 million people. Sometimes metaphysics is good. Any other, as I scroll through here, Pamela, any topics?
What about New Age?
New Age. We can add that.
Maybe tarot, possibly.
Okay. Now, here's an example. We add tarot, but it didn't add any more people.
Yeah.
So, that's okay, but it just shows that we've covered a good broad section of our topics, and now it's just it's the same people using additional areas of interest that they have. So I think we're doing pretty good here.
Yeah.
We can, yes?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So now we've got, if we look up here in the audience definition, we've got our indicator right in the middle. We're not too broad that we're, not targeting at all, but we're not too specific. So when I can stay generally right in the middle or a little bit to either side, I know my audience is pretty well defined. Now, here's where in placement, I can have it go to just Facebook people. I can have it Facebook and Instagram. There's a whole network of affiliate sites where these ads can show. And so in the beginning here, for a couple, 3 days, I just leave that on automatic placement and let Facebook optimize it, for me. And then here we want optimization for ad delivery. Here you'll see 3 different criteria, 3 main criteria of landing page views, which means they'll deliver our ads to people who are most likely to click on your ad link and load the website, or it'll deliver to people your ads to people most likely to click on them. So it's a little subtle difference. I try to go with the landing page views. Sometimes I might pay a little bit more per ad, but they're going to target it to people who more typically actually click on a link and go to it rather than just look at it. So we'll go with landing page views to start with, because all of this can be edited and changed after a couple, 3 days. If the ad's not performing well, then we can go back in and tweak it. Because this is a learning process, and I've done a fair amount of this, and I found that what I think might be a good ad just doesn't resonate and doesn't work. So that's where I go in and look at the performance and be ready to change it, put it on hold and change it if it's not performing well. And by performing well, I like to see a cost per click of people coming to the landing page of between 30 and 50 cents, per click. I like to see a, kind of like what they call a click-through rate of, they're going to send it out to so many thousands of people, and I like to have around a, somewhere between a 4 to 7% click-through rate. So if I'm only having a 1% click-through rate, that's another indication that I need to go in and retweak the ad. But this is a good starting point. And so now if you see here on the left side, there's no more red error indicators. We've got the ad going, so now we're ready to publish. So now the ad is, sometimes it takes a while don't get too hasty. The system can be kind of slow. There we go. Now it's, now it's published. And if I go up here and minimize this, and now we're back into the account overview. Here, I'm going to click on campaign. So here's our campaign. That blue indicator means it's active, and here it's in review. And so that means Facebook has a review process to make sure there's not too much text in the overlay of the ad and some other criteria. Sometimes it may take 10, 15 minutes before this becomes active. So there we go. That's what it takes to create an ad. To start with, before you go into this mode and try to create an ad and do an ad campaign yourself, you want to get organized first before coming here so it's less frustrating. And I open a Word document and I go through those key areas of what do I want for my headline? What do I want to say in the ad? What link am I going to use? What image am I going to use? And so these are some of the things. If you're trying to figure that out once you're in the ad, it'll be more frustrating experience. So that's how to get started, and the best way to get good at it is to have some experience, right, Pamela? We learn more by doing.
Definitely.
Any questions you have? before we stop the video recording that you think people might want to know about?
No, I think it's fairly clear. As I said earlier, it'd be good for people as they're doing it to have this as their go-to reference video to help them step by step or to place their own ads. Just wanted to note that one thing that we're going to do is I'll check in with you, Roger, probably 3 days after the ad started, to see how it's going and any changes that we can make. But it's always good to keep an eye on it. As you know, it's going for 2 weeks, so we'll just keep on keeping an eye on it and making sure it's performing the way we want it to. Other than that, no, I have nothing else to add other than thank you a million times for your help with this, Roger. It's really appreciated.
Well, no problem. And the main thing is, if any of the leadership in Australia, once you start doing an ad, if it's not working for you, if somehow you can't get your ad created, don't get frustrated. Ask for help. Email or call Pamela, and if she can't help you, then I'll be more than glad to back it up, and we can have a little one-on-one session like this over the internet and help you get going, because I can't tell you how many times I got totally frustrated with the process until I finally learned it. And so you don't want to get frustrated. So thanks a lot, and we'll all be in touch.